Hello, Jess Montgomery here for my weekly Tea with Jess. Always got to have the mug with my tea in it. What a week it's been. It's been a somber, heartbreaking, heart-wrenching, enlightening week, I think, for all of us. And I just want to say that my heart breaks for Mr. Floyd. My heart goes out to his family. I stand with Black Lives Matter. I think anyone who knows me or has read my work, particularly The Hollows, would not be surprised by that. And I stand with the protesters, and I hope that real change can come out of this, this moment in time. So, with that said, it feels weird to be in the midst of such a history-making moment, and to have personal good news to want to share. But as my friends and family point out to me, and to be honest, my therapist too, it's fine to have personal moments of joy to share. So even in the midst of these greater movements going on and these greater events going on around us. So I'm going to share a little good news, which is that The Widows, the first book in my kinship series, was picked as a finalist in the fiction category for the Ohio Anna Award, which I'm very honored by, very excited about. Let me double check the website for you to look it up. It's ohioana.org, so OHIOANA.org, you know, OHIOANA.org. I'm an Ohio native. I have to do that whenever I spell Ohio. Look it up. Obviously, if you're here and watching this, you're aware of or you've read my work. But I want you to look it up so that you can look up all the other authors that have been nominated in the fiction category, as well as nonfiction, poetry. Let's see. I want to make sure I get this right. Juvenile literature, middle grade and young adult literature, and then books regarding Ohio or Ohioans. And the Ohio Anna Award was established in 1942. It recognizes Ohio authors, which means either born in Ohio, you know, like me, so that you have to do the OHIO thing, or lived in Ohio for 5 years, with the exception of the category about Ohio or Ohioans. So it's a great honor, truly, to be in amazing company in the past and in the present for the finalists. But definitely go check out ohioana.org. If you're looking for reading material, you can see wonderful options for this year. You can see past award winners, and your to-be-read pile will grow considerably, which I think is great. So also for this Tea with Jess, I want to answer a couple of questions. I still have all these questions left over from a couple months ago, so I'm going to try to get to 2 or 3 at a time. And one is from, and again, if I mispronounce names, please forgive me. One is from Judy Bussinger-Dells. She's a longtime fan, so hello, Judy. And her question is, do you always know how a book is going to end, or does it change as you write? So the truth is, I always think I know how the book's going to end. I always feel as though I have to know how the book's going to end, since I write mysteries. That's my cat. I promise I don't have a baby or a bird trapped in here. I have my cat. Maybe she'll come grace us with her presence. You want to say hi to everybody, Luna? You want to say hi? Oh, she's like, I don't know. See, I'm not sure. Meow. I'm camera shy. Okay, I'll let you go. Down, you're the one who came in here, you know. Okay, so back to the question. Do I have to know how it ends? I have to know the characters, Lily and whoever is narrating alongside her, because it varies from book to book, how that character arc is going to go. So I figure some of that out as I write, but I have to have a sense of what change will the narrator go through? Will the characters go through at the end, from where they were at the beginning? And then I have to think I know who done it. Because I'm planting clues all along, right? And sometimes as I'm drafting, sometimes as I'm revising. And so, I kind of have to know, who the bad guy is and what his or her motive is, and why they made the choices they made. But I will admit that for both The Widows, the first book, and The Hollows, the second book in the Kinship series, I got to about 50 pages from the end, and thought, uh-oh, the person that I think is the bad guy is either not the bad guy or did not act on his or her own. So that's a little bit of a panic-inducing feeling, because, of course you're thinking, wow, I've got 50 pages left, and I have, 300 pages before these 50 pages that are left. And I'm not sure who done it. So then I figured it out for both books, of course, after a little bit of struggle. And I think it made the books better, that I didn't entirely know. So for the third book, which is coming out sometime in 2021, and is called The Stills, I decided I wouldn't figure out as I was drafting who done it, so to speak. I would just write with 3 or 4 potential bad guys in mind, 3 or 4 people with motives. Eventually, when you read the book, you'll see why I would feel confident doing that. And then I got to be surprised when I got to the end. So I got to be surprised with everybody else, which I thought was fun. So there you go. That's a long-winded answer to Judy's very good question. The next question is from Geneva Robertson, who asks, what is your favorite book that you've written and your favorite book you have read? So the favorite book I've written, that's like asking me who is my favorite kid. There's no choice to be made. They're both my favorite kid. I would throw myself in front of a train to save either one of their lives. They're both my favorite kid. So in terms of my favorite book, it sounds cheesy, but honestly, it's always the book I'm writing at the moment. At least over the past 10 years or so, that's been true, because I have to fall so in love with whatever I'm writing. Not that like I'm in love with it like it's the most perfectly beautiful written thing ever, but I'm in love with the story, and I want to serve the story, and I want to make it the best story possible, and love in that way. So I have to feel that way about whichever book I'm working on, and have the sense that I would write this book no matter if anyone ever read it or not. Obviously, I want you all to read my work. That's part of the joy of being a writer, is having people who read your work, and it kind of completes the creative process to have a reader read your work. But I have to feel that way. So right now, the book that is my favorite book is The Stills, because that's what I'm working on. And then once it is completed, the next book, hopefully, I will feel that way about. In terms of my favorite book to read, there are so many good books out there. It's hard to pick one. But I'm going to name one that I recommend all the time, even though I know it's not to everybody's taste. But I love the book, Winter's Bone by Daniel Woodrell. Winter's Bone. It was made into a movie. The movie was fabulous, by the way, in my opinion, and I don't always think that about adaptations. But the book was amazing, and I love it because if you look at, once you've read it and then you look back at the title and you look at the opening 2-3 sentences, you see how beautifully crafted this is. It's a slender book. It's not very long, but you want to take your time reading it because the language itself is so evocative and poetic and beautiful. The story is compelling and shocking. It's a contemporary mystery set in the Ozarks that has to do with Dolly wanting to find her father who's missing because she needs to find him in order for them not, her mother and her siblings, to not be thrown out of their house. And it involves meth, cooking, and identity, and family, and borders, and boundaries, and all of those things, with the exception of meth, the boundaries and the borders and identity and family, and, you know, where does that begin and where does that end, those borders with yourself and your larger community. That's one of my favorite themes. So this book is right up my alley. And it's just beautifully written. Scenes are so beautifully evoked. So I highly recommend Winter's Bone. That would be one of my very favorite books. So thank you, Geneva, for asking that question. So that kind of does it for Tea with Jess. This is Tea with Jess. This is a brief one today because it's just me answering a few questions, but I hope you'll join us next Monday on June 15th at 3 o'clock when I'll be interviewing another writer, Hannah Mary McKinnon, whose book Sister Dear just came out. I'm currently reading it and loving it, and it's page turning. So Sister Dear by Hannah Mary McKinnon, capital MC, capital KINNON. So if you get a chance to read it between now and next week, that would be lovely. If not, read it whenever you get to it. But join us because we'll be chatting about her writing, and she writes contemporary, like I said, page-turning thrillers. And you can, ask her questions then, or just shoot me a message if you have a question ahead of time that you'd like for her and I to discuss. So thank you for joining me for tea today, and I hope you have a peaceful and beautiful and healthy and safe day. Be kind, take care of yourselves, love each other, and I will see you all in a week. Bye.